But it's time now for the newsmaker, and following her bold speech in the United States about illegal immigration and the failure of multiculturalism, Suella Braverman has faced an unlikely backlash from her predecessor in the Home Office, Priti Patel, who in an interview this weekend labelled Braverman an attention seeker. This as tensions grow within the cabinet about whether the UK should leave the European Convention on Human Rights in order to tackle illegal crossings in the Channel. Meanwhile, former Prime Minister Liz Truss will be lobbying colleagues at conference this week, pushing for the Prime Minister to cut taxes and to go for growth. So is this a sign of healthy debate within the party or the beginnings of a civil war? Let's get the views of tonight's newsmaker, former Conservative government minister, author and television personality Anne Widdecombe. Anne, welcome to the show. You've seen your fair share of Tory infighting over the years. Is there trouble brewing within the party, do you think?
Oh, good heavens, it's not brewing. It's already been there for a very long time. And just look at what we're now, almost taking for granted, that a former Home Secretary can actually say of her successor that she is an attention seeker. Now, I can remember a time not so very long ago. You don't have to go back into the depths of history. Well, the tradition was that former occupants of office, including prime ministers, did not attack their successors on their own side. You'd obviously attack successors on the other side. Now, this is so normal that, nobody is really commenting on it. I mean, we've had civil war in the Tory party now for a very long time. I mean, what was all the fuss about Truss? Answer: a war between the parliamentary party and the party in the country. They wanted different prime ministers. And the party in Westminster finally won. We've got no discipline there at all. None. And the nation can see it. And, when we look and we want a government to be solving things, all we hear is talk. I have to say of Suella, I don't think she's an attention seeker. I think she's a quite hopeless waffler. She talks and talks and talks about what she's going to do, and she delivers absolutely nothing. She talks about those boats until I'm sick of actually hearing her say the word boats, but she does nothing. And it reminds me, the old verse from history, a toast unto our sovereign Lord, whose word no man relies on. He never said a foolish thing and never did a wise one. Suella Braverman talks wisely. She does nothing.
Well, you speak with authority and you know the Home Office inside out. Is ditching the ECHR the final card that Rishi Sunak has up his sleeve? Might that move the dial for the government in terms of how seriously they're taken in their efforts to stop the boats?
Well, I mean, if he actually did leave ECHR, then yes, I think that would make an enormous difference. He's not going to. He's going to say that's what he's going to do. It'll probably appear as a promise in the manifesto. And then he's going to say, but there are so many difficulties. Exactly what he's done over Rwanda. The idea that we leave ECHR without substantial legal challenge is a nonsense. And he's shown no ability to get to grips with it when he's in that situation. So, he may say that he's going to do that. And there will be a section of his party that doesn't like that. And so once again, we'll all be sitting there watching them fighting amongst themselves. But he's not actually going to achieve it, Mark. And frankly, the only thing that will get him re-elected is if he has a record of achievement. And he doesn't. He simply doesn't.
And you are a veteran of many Conservative Party conferences, many of your speeches very memorable. What are your recollections of this event over the years?
Well, of course, my recollections vary according to what stage I was at in the political cursus honorum. And when you're young and you're going to conference, you stay up half the night. I missed the Brighton bomb by 20 minutes. You stay up half the night and you're trying to make contacts and you're trying to advance your career. And above all, you want to speak. You really want to speak. And of course, that's not so easy if you're one of several thousand, which is what it used to be in its heyday. So I can remember all that rivalry, all that jostling for position, all those efforts to speak. And then, of course, time goes on and you get into Parliament and then you become a minister. And then, of course, you're making speeches from the platform. And I was phenomenally blessed because by the time I was making speeches from the platform, we were in opposition. We were early in opposition, and I could say what I liked. When you're in government, you can't.
Indeed. Did you witness any naughtiness over the years at conference? Any dramatic moments?
Well, the bomb was pretty dramatic.
Yeah.
And I can vividly remember the conference where Cecil Parkinson had some problems. And there was, that was the talk of the party at the time. I can remember all those sorts of things, but on the whole, in those days, we took conference seriously. We were at the seaside, of course. You're not now, you're in Manchester or somewhere miserable. But we were at the seaside, and we were there for 5 days. Now it's all crushed into about 2.5 days. We could put down motions which disagreed with party policy. We could put them down, and we did. And it was a much more democratic, exciting conference. I mean, now it is a set piece. That's all it is. It's a set piece. And frankly, it's as boring as most of the speakers are.
Well, you don't do boring, Anne, and we look forward to catching up in a week's time. My thanks to former government minister, veteran of Tory party conference, Anne Widdecombe.